on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. Oh my gosh, April 29th. Summer right around the corner. So I'm super excited for summer, I guess. Kind of, not really. So that should be a lot of fun. Uh, so if you have summer plans, obviously drop them in the chat. If not, don't worry about it. I have no clue what I'm going to do this summer. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my summer plans are just going to be maybe going to a pool and maybe hanging out at a pool, and that's about it. Other than that, so tonight, what we're going to be talking about on this live stream is we're going to be talking about auditions. And we're going to focus on bad auditions. I see on social media and Instagram and stuff like that, the people are always like posting their auditions on Instagram and social media. And I'm going to tell you this, it's kind of a big no-no to do that. Um, because a lot of people in the industry, like actors like will audition and then they, get their script and then they, do a self-tape at home and then they put it on Instagram. And the one thing that, like, I think a lot of industry people aren't happy about is actors who will post their audition for everybody to see. Because remember, they don't want you to like share the script, right? If you're doing, auditioning for a new commercial and you post your commercial audition using the actual script from the audition, like that's, a lot of people aren't going to be happy about that. So when it comes to auditioning, my first tip to you is definitely don't post your audition on the interwebs for everyone to see, right? Because nothing is sacred anymore. Even with movies, like when a movie comes out, like you can already learn everything about the movie within like, you know, 5 seconds of the trailer of the movie coming out. It's already like blasted all over the internet. So yeah, as an actor, when you're auditioning, just be weary. Don't be posting your audition all over the interweb. All right. So with that being said, what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about bad auditions. I'll talk about my experiences with bad auditions and what those were like. And I'll talk about like four different bad auditions. Yeah, hi James, how's it going? Good to see you. I'm glad to have James back tonight. And the first audition we're going to talk about is one of my like first auditions I did in Chicago, and it was for a commercial. And it was for a lumberjack, right? And I forget that in the TV commercial world, when you audition for stuff, you kind of dress the part of the character. Like you don't go full out, but you like kind of dress the part, right? Like in theater auditions, it's just like slacks and a nice button down, right? But in the on camera world, it's completely different. So it's a lumberjack audition. Okay. I show up in a suit and tie. Okay. I show up in a black suit, tie, like I'm auditioning for Men in Black, even though it's lumberjack. I think it was paper towels or something. And I walk into the audition room. I'm probably like in my early 20s, and everybody is looking at me. First of all, I think some people thought I was there as like a producer, an executive producer. They didn't realize I was an actor because I remember I walked in with my suit. Every other actor in there is wearing like flannel and jeans and all this stuff. I'm in this suit, and they're just looking at me like I'm an idiot. Yeah, it was definitely a 6'7" type of scenario. And the girl was like, "Are you here to audition, or are you a casting director?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here to audition." And yes, I wore a suit and tie to the audition because I wanted to look like a professional actor who also freelances as a detective. So suffice it to say, I went in there, did the audition, was a complete nervous wreck, didn't get it, but I learned that day that you probably shouldn't wear a suit and tie unless the role calls for it. So yeah, that was interesting. I will say that another audition that I did was a theater audition, and I remember I submitted to get an audition with the Black Repertory Theater, right? So I'm a white guy, Italian Chicago actor, and so I was like, hey, I'm gonna audition for the Black Repertory Company that only hires, like African American actors. And then here's me be like, oh, and I got, and I didn't get a call back or anything, but I remember going into the initial audition room, and the director of the play definitely didn't like do it, but he showed it. He's like, why is there a white guy auditioning for the Black Repertory Theater. It was definitely like a face plant moment. It's like, ugh. But my thing is like I didn't let it phase me. I think I did a really good theatrical audition. But I guess the play didn't need a token white guy. I don't even remember what the play was, but I remember walking in that room being like, I don't have any shot at this. I don't know why I'm auditioning for this. The guy already he wasn't mad, but he was just very confused. He's like, wait a second, this is the Black Repertory Theater. Why would we bring in this white hairy guy to audition for it? So that was definitely an interesting walk back to the car because I was young and dumb. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have auditioned for that. Because when you're young, you'll submit and try and audition for like anything without reading the actual description of like what you're auditioning for. Because you know you're desperate. You want the job, you want the money, you want the job, you want the auditions, right? You want tons and tons of auditions. So that's the thing. Can I have you? I don't have an OnlyFans, so unfortunately, no, you can't have me. But thank you for the offer. Um, then I remember when I was in Los Angeles, I had a talent agent, great guy, and he got me an audition for a commercial that needed a hibachi chef. And again, white dude, like white hairy guy. Like I do not fit the role of hibachi chef at all, right? Let me tell you something. Like if you go to like a hibachi restaurant, like where you that's where you like you sit around and watch the guy like cook the food and throw it up in the air and do like all of the really cool things. And you see me like come to them, hey, I'm gonna be cooking your food at the hibachi tonight. I'm pretty sure like everybody would leave that table. So he gets me an audition for Hibachi Chef. I just go with it. I don't ever deny because that's a good thing. Actors, like if your agent gets you an audition, don't try and talk him out of the audition. Like just go do the audition. And he was like, "Do you know how to do hibachi?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could figure it out." Right? As an actor, you always kind of lie, and you're like, "Yeah, I could figure this out." And so I went in there and I did the best white guy hibachi chef you could ever imagine in that audition. And I nailed it. Didn't get the call back because obviously I'm white. And the other guys that were like in the audition waiting room were like real hibachi chefs. And they had the outfit on, the hat. They're like doing all that stuff. Like I can't do it. Like I got a marker here. Like we're like spinning stuff around their fingers and like, ooh, hibachi. Um, but the name of the game is as an actor, like you're gonna get auditions that where you're like, I have no shot at ever getting this. And you just gotta go in there and just give it your all and don't apologize for it at all. And I think that's what makes like a great actor is just an actor who's confident. Also, I love those auditions, by the way. Like when you walk into those auditions and you know you don't have a chance in hell to get the part. So like you don't care. So it's almost like you do even better in the audition because you're like, I know I'm not gonna get this, so I'm just gonna go all out, which is a plus plus because then you get to like impress the casting director. So it's not a bad thing, to do that. Um, the other one was a bakery. I one time, because like on an actor's resume, you'll put special skills and you'll put stuff like, oh yeah, I'm a chef, I'm a ballroom dancer, I'm a baker, right? I know how to make a bakery mix. And then your agent will call you up and they're like, Nick, I saw on your resume you said you have baking skills. Can you actually bake? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I can actually. I've seen Cake Boss. I've seen a few episodes of the show. I can bake. And then I remember I went into the audition and I was like, they're not going to have us actually bake in the audition. And I walk into that audition room and there's like two cakes and there's like icing pipes like on the table. And the casting director was like, okay, like pick up an icing thing and ice this cake. And I did the best. I just like did like little plops around it and I was just committed. I knew again, I was like, I am not a baker. I'm not going to get this call back at all. But I went in there all out, best baker ever. And then I would say my last bad audition. Well, see, these aren't bad auditions. These are just auditions where it's like, I don't think I was qualified, right? Or I did, So the last one was for tap dancing and I think it was a Microsoft commercial for like a laptop, and they wanted a guy to tap dance into a boardroom and then tap dance up onto a table and then use their tap shoes to close all of the computers And I remember I have tap shoes. I can kind of tap. I can BS way my through like tapping. And that was another audition. I went in there, and my agent was like, "Can you tap dance?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I can tap dance." I'm like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. They had a kid or something like that. And I went in there, and I actually got the call back for that one. Surprisingly, I don't know why, but they called me back to tap dance, but I did not get the audition at all. So, but yeah, those are like, I guess now I'm thinking about it, they're not really like bad auditions, you know. They're just kind of like, you know, what's this? What if it was Don Goodman here again to be with his two boys? Honestly, let me survive. What? I don't. Okay, solo boy. I don't, are you rapping in the chat right now? Because if you are, it's pretty good. So keep it up. But I guess the moral of the story is you're gonna get, as an actor, you're gonna get a lot of auditions that like you're not suited for, or that you have no chance in hell of like booking the part. And here's my advice to you on those like situations is just go in there and just do your best. The worst is when, as a director, like when I've seen actors come into an audition who clearly don't fit the part, and they're very like apologetic, and they're like, "I don't know why I'm here. I shouldn't be here." And I hate when actors do that when they come in. Like I saw a guy do that one time in an audition. A commercial he came, and he's like, "I don't know why my agent called me in for this." And it's like, bro, just like audition. You never know. Like it could be good. Like don't apologize, even though you don't have a chance at all to like book this part. But yeah, he ended up leaving. I don't even think he auditioned. He was like so like upset. He was like, "I'm out of here," and he left. So yeah, yeah, auditioning. I've seen some. I've seen some pretty bad auditions in my day. I've seen some actor meltdowns in my day too, where actors want to have like 10 takes to like do an audition, and then they get really upset, and they get really angry, and I think it's more of them just getting angry at themselves, which happens. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. There's always another audition around the corner. So, so that's it. I don't know. Unless anybody wants to drop anything in the chat, like, subscribe, do all those fun things. Anybody got anything to say in the chat? Yeah, no, cool, awesome. Well, we went a little over time for the 10-minute live stream tonight, but that's okay. Sometimes we do that. But guys, again, I'm the Theater Bro, and I will talk to you guys later.